Oh, hello out there. We're on the air. You may or not believe this, may or may not believe this, but it was a struggle to get here at this time. Even though we're late, it's playing with Arnie Boy, playing with the man himself right here. There he is. The king has arrived. All right, welcome back, folks. Oh, I'm a little loud, I think, today. I'm out of breath. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another edition, another day, another episode. Number 379, I believe. 379. 379 blocks, we're going to call them today. Since the very first one, back in November 2023, when the price of Bitcoin was around, I don't know, 20,000 bucks per Bitcoin. And we've been showing up ever since, Arnie and I. And this one's titled The Most Important Lesson I've Learned This Year. And it's going to be a good show today. I know I say that a lot, but today's going to be a good one. I hope. I don't know for sure. But keep in mind here, the foundation that these shows are built on is be the guy, protect the sats, enjoy the ride. And remember, this is important too. I might even add this as a new banner. Keep this in mind, no matter where you are today, no matter what you're doing, you're going to look back at some point later in your life, and you're going to say, those were the good old days. Those were the good old days in Bitcoin when the rest of the world hadn't really figured it out yet. You could still buy 800 sats for $1, and you felt like a visionary. You felt like you could see the future before anybody else, and you had the ability to capture part of the future, part of the world, get ownership, get equity in the world before everybody else figured it out. In Bitcoin terms and just in life, you're going to look back and say, damn. What's the quote from The Office? I wish they told you that it was the good old days while you were still in the good old days. So these are the good old days. Just enjoy yourself. I know everybody wants the price of Bitcoin to be this or that, but just enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Killer's here. Is Nostr here? That's the question. Has Nostr showed up? Because Nostr's been showing up in bunches lately, ever since they had a few updates where you could watch it live. No, got a couple over there. Leith is there. What more could you ask for? Leith is there. Two people. One of them is always going to be Letha. Good morning, Letha. Big shout out to Letha. Let me share this on Nostr. Letha doesn't need a reminder. This post is not for. I'm going to actually mention that. I'm going to mention that because she doesn't need this post. How about this one? To everyone other than Letha. Although people might misconstrue that, but that's okay. Letha will get it. There we go. Do some plus signs today. Get some attention. There we go. All right. Nostr. Oh, Nostr. A couple people showed up before the post. We got Plural over there too. We got Scotty. Plural says these are definitely the good old days. Kids will get to see the last halving. Truth. And Plural also zapped 21 sats, said zap for dopamine. It worked. I felt that, like a little shock. Samantha's here too. Good morning, Samantha. Good morning. Top of the morning to you, Samantha. These are the good old days. Scotty says, hello, is this the place to dodge typhoons? Are you in one? Are you in trouble? Do we need to send in the backup here? Do we need to send some safety over to you in Japan? Hopefully you're doing okay there, Scotty. Hopefully that's kind of half joking. Sats and Sunsets is here. Good morning, Sats and Sunsets, our biggest fiat zapper, Sats and Sunsets. And I felt kind of bad yesterday because Arnie finally showed up for a show. And I didn't have his wallet here. So the zaps, I think, were pretty low on Arnie's end yesterday. But I think it was Praetorian who sent in 500 sats that I missed. So thank you, Praetorian, for that. I'm pretty sure that was you. But we do have the wallet here today. And we got Ginger here. Good morning, Ginger. Ginger says, this is a place where we can talk about anything but core versus not. Yeah. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. That's the highlight of my day so far. But for real, though, for real, this will be the only time I talk about it today. We actually did a 2-hour video. I don't think it was quite 2 hours. It felt like about 2 minutes, but it went by fast. We had a really good chat because Forrest, Rajat, and I meet a couple times a week, and then we also meet on Friday for the live stream for Maple Bitcoin. But yesterday, I just kind of said to those guys, I'm like, there's a lot of people talking about this stuff. There's a lot of people arguing about it. There's a lot of like negative energy coming from both sides. And I feel like nobody's really doing a great job explaining it. Although there has been some good explanations of it. I will say that. I feel like Bitcoin Mechanics done a very good job of explaining from the knots perspective why. And also Forrest did a really good video yesterday talking about it. The why. Why are we doing this? Why are we not doing this? And so basically I just said, let's have a conversation. We're not going to script it at all. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to talk and we're going to see where it leads to. So we ended up talking for about an hour and a half about it from both sides, explaining the whole thing. And we're going to be releasing that video today at about 12 o'clock noon. So that'll be on the Maple Bitcoin channel. If you're not like Ginger here and you want a little bit more information on it, I think it was a really useful chat. I kind of changed my mind on a couple different things. I saw it from a different lens. But then, of course, I log into Twitter or Nostr later that day, and I'm like, okay, well, this kind of defeats whatever I just changed my mind on. So I still don't know what the hell's going on. But I am tired of talking about it. I haven't talked about it that much, but I'm definitely tired of seeing it everywhere. So we'll definitely do that today, Ginger. We will definitely do that. As long as there are no typhoons. 101 blocks ahead. Wow. The network must be buzzing. The network must be buzzing. Let's check it out. 104 blocks ahead now, Scotty. 3 more since you typed that. Let's zoom in on that. The difficulty adjustment here. So this is kind of like the self-regulating part of Bitcoin, the difficulty adjustment. So I believe it's 2,100 blocks, 1830 plus 104. What's that? 1934 plus 82, 1934. I guess it isn't 2,100. It doesn't add up to 2,100. 2016. It might be 2016. 1, 3, 4, 2. Yes, I think it's 2016. Every 2016 blocks, the difficulty adjustment gets reset. So a couple important things to note about that is, number one, the Bitcoin network does not follow standard time. The Bitcoin network does not follow standard time. It has its own time. That's why we call it the time chain. And so that's how everything happens. All the difficulty adjustments are based on block height. The halvings are based on block height. What else? Anyways, when there's too many people mining, or not too many, but when there's more people mining, the Bitcoin network has to self-regulate itself, slow things down. When there's too much energy going into the Bitcoin network, the difficulty adjustment has to slow it down, because we want these blocks to come in on average every 10 minutes. And you can see here, the last 5 blocks have been in the last 20 minutes. So it's not 10 minutes exactly, it's on average. So that's the point of this difficulty adjustment here. So that's what Scotty's talking about, 101 blocks, although it's 105 now. 103. See, it kind of changes. So this is going to reset in approximately 12 hours today. We're going to see another upwards adjustment in the difficulty there. And you can see why too. You can see exactly why that happens, because if we go up here to the mining section and then we click view more, you can see here, let's do 3 months. You can see that this flat line here, that's the difficulty adjustment. So it kind of it stays flat. As more hash rate goes up or down, the difficulty adjustment kind of stays flat. But you can see that we're well above it here. So the blocks are coming in too fast. The hash rate is above it. And it's coming in too fast. So this is probably going to be dropping. Sorry, not dropping. I mean, the hash rate will probably come down a little bit, because as it becomes more difficult, then miners don't really see as much incentive to mine. So some of them power down, and then it kind of self-regulates itself. But if you look at this thing over the long run, look at that. That's the best chart in Bitcoin. I know I've showed this a lot, but I think it is worth talking about. This is the most important metric in Bitcoin. This is the amount of people plugging in miners, the amount of energy securing the Bitcoin network. And this is a very, very, very positive sign for Bitcoiners. So yes, thank you, Scotty, for that. Santino's here. Good morning, Santino. Ginger says, I got my BitX beefed up to 2.5 terahash now. Think that will help. Yeah, probably. Should help a bit. Get you some more guesses in there. And keep in mind, that's all that miners do. Well, that's not all that miners do, but from like a very left side of the bell curve explanation, miners just make a bunch of guesses. The more hash rate, the more hash you have, or the more power that you have, the more guesses that it makes. And the more guesses that it makes, the higher your odds are of actually solving the block equation. And when you solve the block equation, you get paid very well. You get paid 3.125 Bitcoin, which is worth what? Let's see what Antpool got paid. 350,000. You hit one block, you got $350,000 worth of fiat, or more importantly, 3.14 Bitcoin. So that's the incentives. That's why people plug in miners. That's why they use so much electricity to try to win that block reward and really just secure and protect the network. Looks like we had some more zaps before the show, some pregame zaps. Jake's here. Good morning, Jake. Morning. What else do we have here? Ballsy Golf. Morning, Bitcoiners. Let's get ready to rumble. Everyone smash the like button, please. That's a good idea. All right, let's check on Nostr. We got 37 people over there right now. Solar Satoshi Zap, 420 sats. Let's go with a little rocket. Scotty Zap 99 said, oops, I forgot. Samantha Nakamoto is there too. Mott BTC podcast. First time watching something on Primal. Pretty cool. On that note, if I was thinking about doing it today, but I'm not really prepared for it. So one of these shows, we're going to do a Nostr only show. Not only on Nostr, but the only questions and stuff we're going to take will be from Nostr. Any discussion, any questions will only come from Nostr. So I'm hoping that's going to encourage some people to give it a shot. I haven't heard of too many fucking internet. Can people in the chat give me a little nod saying, yes, I'm still okay here? You can hear me. You can see me. Internet's not looking too good right now. But anyways, I haven't heard too many people try out Nostr and then say, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm going back to Twitter. I'm going back to Instagram instead. TikTok. Kind of like Bitcoin. It's like once you go down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, once you understand how powerful this is, there hasn't been too many people go back to fiat land after spending 1,000 hours in Bitcoin. So it's the same kind of thing with Nostr, I found, where you spend some time on there, you realize how much better it is than anything else. And you're like, okay, well, I live here now. But this is something that I just saw today, actually. Speaking of Nostr and watching things on Nostr, this is called Show live stream on Nostr. So lives on Nostr are pumping. You can go live in real life on the Show app, and your friends and follower can see you on show.live, plus Primal, Amethyst, Zapstream, and more. So if we go to, I think we can find Show here. Show.live. Look at that. You're going to need some balls and some Bitcoin for the 30th day in a row. What's the viewing experience? Show.live. Whoa. Look at that. How do I mute it? There we go. So this looks kind of cool. Post a note to the stream chat. Add a username. So it actually looks like you can use this without actually having Nostr. I'd encourage you to get Nostr, but you can, let's go with Elite Seal. I like that one. We're trying things out here. Test. There we go. Elite Seal is in the chat. You don't have to do anything. You don't need an NPub. You don't need anything. You just go. Let's see how you can. How do you zap, though? Can you even zap? I don't know. I don't know. Show.live. If you, I guess you might have to be connected to Nostr to zap. I don't know. Anyways, show.live. Give her a shot. Alrighty. Get out of here, Show. Eatable Zebra. Wow. Did you also get a name generated from Show? We got Elite Seal and Eatable Zebra here, checking in for duty today. And the Sleeping Wolf as well. Eatable Zebra, Elite Seal, and Sleeping Wolf. Cypher Sats is in the chat. Cypher Sats, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here today. Sats and Sunsets, my miner is chipping away at 260 terahash in Paraguay. Wow. Wow. That is nice. That is nice. I would like to hear more about that, but I don't know how I would. Hey, Todd's here. Good morning, Todd. Good to see you, man. All right, speaking of that, we need to, speaking of Todd, I need to add some, we need to catch up on our zaps from yesterday. Should probably do that before we get too far into the show today, honestly. So while we're doing that, let me bring these up and then we'll keep going through the chats here. 757,000 sats mined since June. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I'm guessing if you're doing it in Paraguay, you're probably not paying a whole lot for electricity there. That's badass, man or woman. But that's it. Johnny's here. Good morning, Johnny. Frankie says, good afternoon. 300,000 sats purchased today, almost 600,000 for the week. Damn. Frankie's not messing around here. Frankie is not messing around. Adriel, what's up? What's up, Adriel? Changing my name to Visionary 99. I like that one. That might be your best one yet, Scotty. Buck 52 says, I feel like I'm repeatedly being kicked in the balls. Yeah. Like one of those automated machines that they use for other things. Terry's here. Timber Crasher's here. Solar Satoshis is here. Wow, what a crew today. Praetorian says, Jor miner 100 most of the time. I can't take credit for that 500 if it was today. No, it was yesterday. to Arnie's wallet. I thought it was you. I don't know. Bad Gal B's here. Good morning, Bad Gal B. Bad Gal B. CypherSat says DCA sent. All right, we're going to check on those right away here too. Thank you, CypherSats. Juan Sebastian Salazar Tovar. Good medical morning. That was a mouthful. Good morning. Terry says, can't believe Rumble shows me 24/7 live streams under the finance and crypto category, and yours is not one. Yeah, Rumble's really, really, really not that helpful. Really, really, really not that helpful. And I put mine under finance and crypto too. It's the only category that makes sense. I figured there'd be less people on Rumble talking about that, along with it actually making sense that this is a finance and crypto show. So yeah, I don't know. I've asked AI like 30 times. AI, what am I doing wrong here? I've been streaming every day on Rumble for 2 months. The only people that have showed up on Rumble are people that came from YouTube. What the hell is going on? So I don't know. I don't know. I haven't found an answer to it yet, but hopefully one day we figure it out. Ricky Bobby says, anything cheaper than a Start 9? Umbral seems really expensive. Really dollar for the processor. I don't know what really dollar means. Is that expensive or cheap? I don't know. It really depends. Everybody's situation is different. For me, I saved up a while before I bought my Start 9. It wasn't something I did right off the hop. But it seems like there's a lot of people who are, whether you're on Core or not, I think that the most important thing is that you actually are running a node. Again, whether you're running Core, whether you're running knots, it doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. I have my opinion on which one I think that is better, but that's just my opinion, right? I'm not going to try to convince you to vote for Republicans instead of Democrats. Like, most people aren't going to change their mind. So it's kind of a waste of my time more than anything else. But I really do believe that everybody should be running a node. And you don't have to go for the Start 9. Like, that doesn't necessarily have to be your starting point. But you should be running a node. If you want to have a say in the future of Bitcoin, if you, because for the most part, most people here watching the show today, you probably have a decent amount of your wealth, your family's generational wealth tied up in Bitcoin. And so you want to protect it, and you want to have a say in which way that it goes, the direction it takes. So Start 9, I ended up getting a Start 9. I think I got the 4 terabyte one. And I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I would recommend the Start 9 to anybody if you can afford it. Like, don't sell a bunch of Bitcoin. Don't go into debt for it. If you have the financial means to buy a Start 9, definitely get that one. And you're going to use it for much more than just running a node. I think that's what most people miss when they're making a decision about a Start 9 or something else. Start 9s are much more than just a node. Much more than that. And I know they're kind of sold as, run your own Bitcoin node and buy Start 9. I didn't buy Start 9 to run a node. I bought it because I think it's going to be a big part of my sovereignty in the future. So I don't know if, Start 9 is always sold out. So I don't know if they have any even in stock. But anyways, I would get the Start 9. That's the one that I would go with. If you're going to spend some money. Okay, so they're expected to be back in stock here on September 19th. So they are sold out again. What a business. Every second time we look at this website, they're sold out. That's kind of crazy, honestly. They're doing something right. They're doing something right. Again, that's probably my favorite company in Bitcoin is Start 9. Love what they do. Love how they do it. Love the team that they have. Just all around greatness. Start 9. I can see it now. Start 9. All around greatness. So anyways, you can get the server 1 too. I would probably, if I was going to spend some money, I would probably wait and buy the server pure. But server 1, I think you can do quite a bit with that as well. So that one's quite a bit cheaper too. So if you're using Start9, make sure you write down the code 88 sats and you can save yourself about $60 off of your purchase. Jay's here. Good morning, Jay. Gronky Tonk, the man. Good morning, Gronky Tonk. Bitcoin Kitty is here. Bitcoin Kitty. I filmed a good video yesterday. The first vlog from the Daily Bitcoin Journey was filmed yesterday, and both Lucky and Arnie made an appearance in it. So I might post it today. We'll see. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to post it to Nostr only or also post it on the YouTube channel. Leaning towards YouTube and Nostr. J-Dog's here. Good morning, Jay. J-Dog UK. Good morning, J-Dog. The man, the myth. Okay. All good here. Sound is good. All right. Sharon B says Jor isn't here. Yeah. I'm always here. I'm always here and I'm always there. See you normal. Sent 555 for Lucky. Sharon, was that you yesterday too? Who sent that in? I said thanks on the show, but I didn't see you in the chat. So I'm going to assume that it was you yesterday. So thank you. Lucky appreciates. Lucky appreciates. All right. Wow. Nostr is buzzing today. Let's head over there for some action. Diego says, looks nice, the experience on Nostr, but the audio has some delay. And we got Cashew is King. We got Bonita. Is that Bonita from Living in the Future? Bonita is up to 100 sats. Thank you, Bonita. Plural says, have you tried to use BitChat yet? I have. My experience wasn't great. I logged in there. I'm like, okay, what now? Download the app, got into it, and there's a bunch of code. And I was like, all right, well, I'll wait for somebody to show me a tutorial on this one because I have no idea what's going on. So I just left it, picked it up and left it there. Harley zapped 100 sats. Harley, thank you, Harley. Wow, we got some new faces in here. Shout out to Primal and Amethyst for bringing the people here. Endo says, has anyone tried going for a walk on Bitcoin Walk? People get together every Saturday for a walk and talk about how we fix the money and fix the world. Nice way to make based friends. Interesting. That's pretty cool. I've never heard of it. I've never been. Bad Gal B says, hey, the 2.5 Primal update live chat worked. I got to get that, I guess. I'm still using the old version of Primal. But that's cool. Ballsy's over there. Ballsy Golf Show. Kachok? Zap 21 sats watching on Nostr. Pretty badass, I'm not going to lie. Plural says, yeah, same. I downloaded but haven't proceeded with BitChat. It's a little intimidating. I'm not going to lie. It's not as easy as like log in, make a post. It's like log in 1,000 lines of code and you have to press this button to, I had no idea what was going on. It was way too much for me. Oh my God. Scotty. Samantha says, tried out Show. See her live. Nice. It looks like Ballsy's watching over on Show too. Show. Sir Haxalot says, what's new, you hoser? Not much here. Not much to report. It's a pretty gloomy day today. Again, it was freezing cold this morning. I couldn't get out of bed. And we got our daytime light here from Chroma to bring light to our life today. We need it. We need it. Darth Tangarian. Any thoughts on MicroSeed product? Seen it pop up on X lately. What the hell is a MicroSeed? Let's check it out. Although we don't usually take requests from YouTube, we'll make an exception today. All right, looks like we got 379. That would be from our friend Sats and Sunsets, I'm sure, for show 379. So thank you, Sats and Sunsets. We got 555 from Sharon B for Lucky Boy. And we got 100 Sats, guessing from Praetorian. So thank you, guys and girls. MicroSeed Bitcoin. Let's check it out. MicroSeed.io. A free ad here for MicroSeed. Although it looks like they're the competition. So I don't know if I should be doing this or not. Craig might be pissed. But anyways, MicroSeed phrase backup. MicroSeed engraves your entire Bitcoin seed phrase on a fireproof, waterproof steel or titanium the size of a coin. I have seen this actually. Do I like it? Maybe I'll put my review on here right now. Do I like it? Do I like the idea of it? No. Why? Because it's pretty easy to lose that. It's pretty easy to lose that. Imagine going through all the effort of punching that into a nice coin, and then you just lose the coin, and then all your Bitcoin's gone. I don't like the idea of that. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? It's a nice steel or titanium, easy to do. But there's still holes in that stuff. Like I had a conversation with a guy yesterday. He's like, it was a guy who was interested in the 21 Sats inheritance plan that we had. And he's like, you're the only person I've heard explain like the problem with storing your seeds on steel. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of different things that can go wrong with that. But a couple that come to mind is like a fire. Like just imagine this. I know it's on steel. I know it's on titanium. But let's say that you're gone for the weekend. And something happens to your house. Let's say a fire. You're away on vacation. You come back or you get a call, house is on fire. Who knows? Forest fire, somebody started on fire, electrical fire, who knows? You come back and there's cops everywhere. There's fire trucks everywhere. There's first responders everywhere. There's tape around the property. And you're like, well, I need to go in there because my Bitcoin seed is on a coin somewhere and all the ash is there. And this is after maybe a day, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe after 400 people have walked by it. And a fireman picks it up and puts it in his pocket. Maybe he knows it has a Bitcoin seed on it. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows? Maybe somebody walking by. Or a tornado comes and rips out the drawer that had the coin in it. And it's 10 miles that way. Like the concept of it makes sense, I guess. But it's just, you got to think through what can go wrong. And that does not protect you against everything. It's a good solution. It just doesn't protect you against everything. And you compare that to the 21 Sats inheritance and security thing, where you have, it's distributed in different locations. You have QR codes. So even if you had one place burned down and your QR code went with it, you still have duplicates in other places. So it's nice because you don't have to keep it at your house. Also, that's another issue with that. Is like if somebody breaks in your house and puts a gun to your head and says, give me your Bitcoin, you're probably going to go get that coin or die. So the nice thing about the other one too is that you don't have to have a trace of Bitcoin at your house. You can keep it all off-site, off location. So yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. Obviously I'm biased because the service that we have, but the whole reason why I signed up for that service and wanted to work with Craig on it is because it just made way more sense to me. And I'd heard of putting it on steel. I had my seed phrase on steel and I still wasn't sleeping that good because I knew that there's problems with it. Plus it's in plain text. That's the other part too. If somebody finds that coin, They can just read the words off and put it into a wallet. So there's holes in it. And I just don't think there's enough Bitcoiners who are really thinking through all of that stuff. So the guy said I was the only one talking about it, but I have to give a lot of props to Craig, because he was the one who opened my eyes to the power of encryption. So yes, I talk about it, but it was a solution that I was looking for. It was the solution that I couldn't think of that I needed, which is encryption. Sketchucation. Sup. Lots of sups today. Lots of sups in the chat. Renita, good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Arson Fire says, hi, I'm new to the channel. Can you tell me the significance of 88 sats? There's a couple significance of it. Number one, it's the project that launched the channel, which is we found 88 people to buy some Bitcoin, put it in a multi-sig, and we're going to buy a golf course in 10 years with the sats. So that's what started the channel. And the other part too is I'm born in 1988. So that's the significance. There's no nothing crazy there. I made this morning though. Speaking of this, I came up with this morning. I saw this picture of a citadel, and I thought this would be a good meme to have. So I want to know what you guys think about this one. I'm sure there's going to be some people mad, but that's okay. Mostly Ledger and Tangent users are going to be mad about this. But this is the citadel. So you can see here, we start at the bottom, the lower level here. Somebody can just jump over, get your Bitcoin. So that's Ledger and Tangent. And then I have an exchange above that, which is probably going to be controversial a little bit. An exchange, I think, is actually more safe than keeping your Bitcoin on a Ledger or a Tangent. I know. Come at me if you want to, but I think that an exchange is actually safer than a Ledger or a Tangent. There's been way more people lose their, and it's not even like losing coins, and they might not even have been lost yet. That's the crazy part. Their private key might have been leaked somewhere along the way, and the person who found it might just be waiting to sweep that Bitcoin at some point. So exchanges, yeah, I know they've had some issues in the past, and exchanges have gone down. I would exclude Coinbase from this, even though Coinbase is a public company. They're pretty. I shit on Coinbase a lot, but they're not bad. That'd be the question for me. Would I rather keep my Bitcoin on a Ledger or in Coinbase? And I would say just don't either. Don't keep it at Coinbase. Don't keep it on a Ledger or Tangent. Find a better solution. So there, you got the exchange there. And then you got a hot wallet. This would be something like Aqua, Moon, something like that, Cove. And then you got the cold wallet, another layer of security on top of that, because the keys were generated offline. It never touches the internet. Hopefully an air-gapped one, something that doesn't connect through a USB. And then you put a passphrase on top of that. That's another wall that they got to climb over, passphrase. And then you get into a multi-sig, and you're pretty much living right at the top. I'd say a multi-sig is a very solid solution for keeping your Bitcoin. If you do it properly, there's a lot that can go wrong if you're trying to set up a multi-sig and you don't really know what you're doing. A lot that can go wrong. So if you have the knowledge or the assistance with that, multi-sig is pretty much at the top. But then in the castle, this is the 21 sats encryption. This is the best way to store your Bitcoin. I don't know where a MicroSeed would be on here. I'd probably put it around here. Cold wallet. Passphrase maybe somewhere in between there. The MicroSeed, but 21 sats, this is where you want to get to. This is where you want to be living. No Bitcoin at your house. No single point of failure. No private keys in plain text. No KYC. Nobody knows how much Bitcoin you have. Nobody else is holding a key to your Bitcoin. This is the peak. This is what you want to work towards. And keep in mind, if you're here, don't skip any of these steps. Like, don't feel like you need to go straight to the top. You kind of have to work your way upwards. Take your time. This is a very important part of Bitcoin. So that's the meme that I made this morning. Is it a meme? It's not really funny, but I think it gets the point across. I thought it was perfect because our company, Bitcoin Citadel, and I saw a nice Citadel, and I was like, I could kind of put layers on top of this. So this is Bitcoin Citadel. If you need any help with your Bitcoin security, if you want to learn more about the 21 Sats inheritance plan, it's all on there. And yeah, check it. I haven't been mentioning it nearly enough on the show, but we've been busy. That's why we haven't been hurting for customers. That's for sure. So there it is, bitcoincitadel.net. All right. Yes, it was. Okay. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Thank you. Sir Haxlot says run start9 in a VM using VirtualBox. Works like a charm. Good option. I don't have the time or the technical ability to do that, so I just bought the device. All right. What's going on Rumble today? Not much. Not much. Oh, I got to sneeze. Gronky Tonk says, DCA send, I'm sorry, I'm going to check out Rajash's channel at 10:30 this morning. I put a question for him in last night and want to see what he says. Nice. No problem. That's right now, I guess. So thank you, Gronky Tonk, for being here. And thank you for the zap. Appreciate it, man. Terry says, about to watch a YouTube video from CoinGecko on how to use Nostr. CoinGecko? Huh. That's interesting. ISO says, hey, Jora, I was Kachak Audio has some kind of delay on Nostr, so I'm hopping on here. I gotcha. No problem. Over in Nostr, we also had Mav21, the man, the myth, the legend. Mav21 zapped 1,000 sats, said, good morning, Jor. Thank you, Mav. Appreciate it, brother. Eatable Zebra says, Robin Sayre is involved with the MicroSeed. Is he? I feel like he's involved with a couple. I mean, again, it's a decent solution. It's just not the best solution. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to make. Things can go wrong when you have your private keys written on steel. It's in plain text. It can be lost. It can be found. It can be misplaced. It can be tossed 2 miles away from a tornado. Plus, you have to keep it at your house. So there's a lot of issues with it. Terry says a decent little safe would be fire resistance. Yes. That's usually what I tell people when I'm helping them set up a cold card. And I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of miss this part, which is like you have to put yourself in the perspective of somebody who would be coming after your Bitcoin. It's probably not going to be somebody walking by, some random person, because they're probably going to take your TV and leave. They're not going to look for a private key. Even if they came across 24 words, they wouldn't know what it was. They'd be like, oh, this guy's a nerd. I'm not reading this book. So they walk by. You have to put yourself in the position of the sophisticated attacker. And when you're thinking about decoy wallets and stuff like that, that's another thing to consider. Nobody's going to believe that you had 500,000 sats that you haven't touched in 3 years, you haven't added to it. You have to be really thinking through this stuff. And when somebody comes into your house, where's the first place they're going to go? A sophisticated attacker, where's the first place they're going to go? Probably the safe. They're going to say, Jor, take me to the safe. So what I recommend is keeping your device in the safe, keeping your private key somewhere else. Because if somebody did break in your house and they got into your safe or stole your safe, they still need to go through the process of your PIN code and the secure element in the cold card. So you don't want to just leave your 12 words sitting there on a fucking platter for them. So hide that, put your device in the safe, and then encrypt and then eventually encrypt it where you don't have to have any sort of Bitcoin around your house. Safety security box is a pretty good idea. Yeah, that's another good idea for actually leaving your device. You don't want to leave your 12 words in a safety security box because the same reason. It's written in plain text. So if a bank employee went rogue and they found your 12 words, your Bitcoin's gone. So if you are going to use a safety security box, put your device in there. Don't put your 12 words in there. Hey, Jen's here. Hands off my mail 02. Hi, peeps. Good morning, Jen. Good to see you. All right, what's happening here? Hey, Letha sent in $1, a fiat zap. $1 over on Rumble. Thank you, Letha. Lucky Leopard. Show name. Oh, Lucky Leopard. Shred Lord says, loving the highlighted zaps in chat. Yeah, that's cool. Let me see this. And Odell zapped 22 sats. Odell, the man who got me onto Nostr, zapped 22 sats. That's pretty cool. Why 22? What's the significance there, Odell? Thank you, my friend. Odell's been a huge advocate of Nostr and Primal and getting this stuff onto the airwaves here. So big props to Odell. Because as Mav said the other day, we are going to take down YouTube. Oops, probably shouldn't have said that on YouTube. No wonder my channel's at a standstill right now. Sorry, YouTube. I know you're listening. Ricky Bobby says, I use a Ledger device. What's wrong with it? Ledger is a cold wallet, bro. No, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know there, VHF. I wasn't aware of that. Is it a cold wallet? How cold is it? How cold is it? You're plugging into a fucking laptop. How cold is it? That's connected to the internet. How cold is it? It's about as cold as my coffee right now. So kind of cold actually, but not cold. Room temperature at best. Exactly. Gronky Tonk says, Coinbase seems to be up in their game. I see them talking about security and possibly something about a ledger for Bitcoin. I use it to hold some USD and a very small amount of Bitcoin. Coinbase is dog shit. Coinbase, they're tricky. They spend a lot of money on advertising. So when somebody first wants to buy some Bitcoin or some crypto, they usually go to Coinbase. And I think the reason they choose Coinbase is because they don't want just Bitcoin. They want to buy some Bitcoin, and then they want some Dogecoin, and then they want some Ethereum because they heard Tom Lee on CNN talking about it, or whatever the fuck his name is. So then they go to Coinbase and they diversify their crypto. But Coinbase is not a viable solution for any Bitcoiner. Gronky Tonk says, I hold USDC for tax purposes. The 4.17 APY paid weekly is nice too. Why for tax purposes? Wouldn't hold shit coins unless I need to. Well, that's a good way to do it, I guess. Frumble, Letha says, Odell is in the Nostr chat. Yeah, he zapped 22 sats for the show. My man. ISO says, I just downloaded BitChat Mesh, very cypherpunk coded. Yeah, I had a hard time with that one. Jay says, I keep my 12 words on steel so anybody can read them. I can't even burn it if I want to get rid of it. 24 is better because it takes longer to read. Yeah, that's true. Good point. Great point. All right. Let's go over to check on some news here. What do we have today for news? What do we have today? Has anybody tried Rizful? This is mostly pointed towards the Nostr chat. But has anybody tried Rizful before? Because they sent me a message yesterday saying that they would give me 100,000 sats for promoting their wallet. But I've never used it before. So I'm obviously not going to do that. But I wouldn't mind trying it out. Rizful.com. I think it's a Lightning wallet, obviously. I'm gonna check her out. Rizfold.com. Okay, we're gonna put this on hold for a sec, and we're gonna go to sent. Gonna get to some news today. Oh, speaking of Doge, speaking of Coinbase, speaking of crypto, let's check this out. I got a couple different things here to show about Dogecoin. Fuck was that now? Clean core. All right. So big news yesterday was we had a company that actually established a Doge treasury strategy. So let's get some info on this. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened here. So this was the news yesterday. Let me bring this up. Dogecoin, the very first Dogecoin. This is a post from Nostr from Watcher Guru. I think this just automatically relays to Nostr. But anyways, it says clean core to establish a 175 million Dogecoin treasury with foundation-backed governance. This Dogecoin treasury strategy is actually taking center stage right now as Clean Core Solutions announced it's 175 million purchase, $175 million worth of Dogecoin. Seems like a pretty good idea. Or does it? So I guess shareholders did not agree that the Dogecoin treasury strategy was a good idea. We went from about $7.50 down to $2.72 in what looks like about a day. Over the weekend, shareholders not pumped about a Dogecoin treasury strategy. So I guess for anybody out there who's thinking about adding Doge to your treasury, might not be the best, especially if you got stakeholders involved. But yeah, that was the big news out of Doge today. So yikes, tough one for any clean core shareholders. So Ledger is cool. There's nothing wrong with Ledger. No. Jor is a radical Bitcoin fundamentalist. Wow, I'm going to add that to my resume. A radical. You sound like CNN VHF. Radical. Jor is a radical Bitcoin fundamentalist. I might actually add that to my Nostr profile. I like that. But I would disagree with you, VHF. I agree with you here. I am a radical Bitcoin fundamentalist, but I would disagree with you on this, that there's nothing wrong with Ledger. That's a crock of shit. There's many things wrong with the Ledger. Just ask AI right now. What are the main downsides to using a Ledger hardware device? It's going to say, well, there's a bunch of information leaked. It's closed source. They push through updates without telling their users. You can store shitcoins on there. So you got Bitcoin and shitcoin capability on there. It plugs into a computer. That's a good place to start. So there's my radical Bitcoin fundamentalist coming out. ISO says you basically got different chat rooms based on your geolocation, not exact IP. And then if you want offline chats, you can connect with nearby users using Bluetooth. Yeah, I kind of get the concept of it, but it was too hard for me to figure out. So I just left it. Had other things to do. Had to do laundry or something. All right, what do we got going on here today? We got a couple zaps here that we need to report. I don't know where they came from. But we need to get to the bottom of this. So first one here, somebody sent in 5,000 sats. I don't know where that came from. It said cheers with a couple beers. The second one was from Todd here, 3737. And we had a couple different DCAs here. I think I know who those are from. But somebody sent in 8,888 sats. Was that Josh? Or who sent that in? Because that's a point on the board. So for whoever sent that, please let me know ASAP, ASAP as possible, please. I see that. I'm sticking with it for now. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to say that. I'm not going to say it's not that bad. ISO says you can also latch onto other regions using something called a geohash. Cool. Cool. Seems like a pretty good idea. Yeah. Shareholders disagree. Shareholders did not think that was a good idea to get a Doge treasury strategy. Okay, so Samantha Nakamoto zapped 111 sats and said, not much zap, have to fill up wall to Satoshi again. No problem. No problem. Appreciate it. 111 is better than a 0. The Grinder's here. Grinder said, Dogecoin treasury. What did I just walk into? Grinder says, LOL ledger in caps. So for anybody out there watching this on YouTube or Rumble or otherwise, the Grinder said LOL ledger in caps, which means that he probably doesn't recommend you use a ledger. And you probably want to listen to a guy like that. Ledger's been around for probably a decade, I think. So he's been through a lot. He's seen it all. He's seen the ups, the downs, the hacks, the leaks, everything. So I would trust a guy like Grinder more than I would trust a guy like me. And the Grinder is saying LOL ledger. And the Grinder said, most importantly, your seeds aren't yours. Take it up with him. Take it up with the Grinder, not me. Don't come at me. Don't come at me. And Letha said 5K was me. Letha, thank you. Thank you. And then American Hackers zapped 25 sats and said, you demand Joe. And then another 25 sats and said, Joe or not Joe. Thank you. Appreciate it. VHF says there's never been a security breach of the Ledger Nano X. You need evidence to make a claim, Jor. All right. Cool. Honestly, VHF, like, are you trying to argue here? You're trying to say that a Ledger is better than other hardware devices? Because it's not. It's simply not. So if you want to use it, you can use it. I'm just saying I don't recommend using it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to sit here and argue about the different products like the Nano X. Maybe not. But Ledger has had many issues with security breaches. I've talked to several people in the last couple of weeks actually who said, I bought a Ledger and then I started getting emails and I started getting phone calls. So I just don't like it. I don't trust them at all. If you want to use them, go ahead. Go ahead. I just wouldn't recommend it. For the people out there who are new to Bitcoin, avoid Ledger. That's what I'll say. Avoid Ledger. All right, what's next here? Oh, we have to watch this. We have to watch this. So for anybody who's been spending some time on Nostr lately, there's a new trend happening over there. And that is vlogs, or as Odell called it famously, vlogs, which I got a pretty good kick out of there. But yesterday, so American Hodl was kind of the first guy to do a vlog over on Nostr, and he's done 6 of them now. And this one was my favorite. You know, I had all these things that I wanted to talk about today. The most important lesson I've learned this year. And we haven't even talked about it for 1 second. So anyways, we're going to watch this video. It kind of talks about what I was going to talk about today as well, based on this video. But we got a cameo here, a special cameo on this video from the Backpacker family. So anybody who's been watching the show here, anybody who's been spending some time on Jerry's stream, you know the backpacker family, backpacker, fanny packer, hodler, flipper, and anonymous. And so hodler posted a video, or hodler's dad, backpacker, posted a video of her in the backseat going through the "You're Not Stacking Hard Enough" video that American Hodl originally did. So they gave a shout out to, or American Hodl gave a shout out to Little Hodler, BTC Hodler. And it's a good video talking about compound interest. And so I want to watch this, and then we'll spend a little bit of time after talking about it as well. So here's the video.
There's a street I walk down sometimes, and one side of the street is full of upper middle class homes. Doctors, lawyers, accountants, business executives. They drive Volvos, Mercedes, BMWs. They send their kids to private school. Across the street, though, directly, are these mansions full of the ultra wealthy. And I think about this quite a bit, because what is it that separates these people? By all accounts, they have very similar educations, backgrounds, lifestyles, familial circumstances. But the people in the smaller homes often work for the people in the larger homes. So it's got to be something beyond the obvious. It has to be something internal. It has to be something that they know. What do they know?
Following American Hodl on Nostr, reading the post and reply and the repost. This thing is changing the world. How cool is that? Oh, 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 oh.
I saw this adorable post by a BTC backpacker whose daughter, I believe, goes by BTC Hodler. She was like doing my "You're Not Stacking Hard Enough" speech, which I think I first did on Walker's podcast.
You're not stacking hard enough. You're just not stacking hard enough.
You know, so this little girl got me thinking. By the way, shout out to you. You are crushing it. You are so far ahead of your peers, you have no idea. Because of the way compounding works, the people that understand it earlier are going to always do better than the people that understand it later. If you begin investing at age 30 and you save $10,000 a year every year for 30 years, 35 years, I believe, until retirement, versus a person who started investing at 20 and was able to accumulate $100,000 by the time they were 30, the person who started at 20 could stop when they were 30. So not put in the extra 35 years of work, just start in the beginning and still outcompete the person who went the entire distance and put $10,000 a year aside every year. So understanding compounding early matters a lot. So BTC Hodler and the other young kids that are going to inherit the earth who understand compounding are going to do very, very well in life. Should we rip some more shots? It just makes the vlog feel more dynamic, you know? Just makes it feel better. There's a misattributed quote to Albert Einstein where he says that compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. I don't think he ever said that shit, but it's true. If you DCA even $50 a week, you know, Wicked had a chart today that if you DCA'd $50 a week starting in 2018, you'd have $150,000 to be saved in Bitcoin terms, right? If you saved in gold, you'd have $40,000, which is obviously not as good as the Bitcoin, but still, it's a lot better than the person who pissed away their $50 every week on nothing. Well, I don't have $50 a week. I bet you do, man. I bet you do. I think all of us are spending $50 a week on things that are complete bullshit without even realizing it most of the time. Your time as a human being passes anyway, regardless. The time is going to pass. And the people who don't plan for their futures, when the time passes, they end up in woeful circumstances. But it goes broader than just finance, right? Like if you are, you know, I was thinking about this little girl in her video, because obviously it's very sweet that she's like, you know, copying my speech and whatever. But I was thinking about her and, you know, her life, and I have my own children who are younger. One of the things I want to impart to my own children is not just compounding in a financial sense, although I do want to impart that to them. But I think it's also important that we, when we talk to our children, think about compounding in all areas of life. Like if you want to have a healthy body, you know, your diet is a compounding effect. Your exercise regimen, going to the gym, that's a compounding effect. The big one is probably your marriage, your friendships, your relationships. Those are all compounding effects. You know, when you think about it, there really is no such thing as stasis in life. It's really just, are you in an upward spiral or are you in a downward spiral? Are things going well in your life? Or things going negatively in your life? Either direction, the effects are compounding on each other. There is no, you're here and you just stay here and then one day you die. No.
The best outro in on the internet right now. Love that one. So big shout out to BTC Hodler. I haven't seen any of the backpacker family here today, but maybe they'll watch it later. Who knows? Either way, she is a celebrity now. So I wonder what it's like going to school, showing up, signing autographs. BTC Hodler's life has changed overnight. Just kidding. There's like 20 people on Nostr, so it might take a few years for that fame to kick in. But absolutely love the message there. That was the that's kind of been the most important lesson that I've learned this year, is the power of compounding. And as he was mentioning there, it expands much more than just financial stuff, right? We're taught earlier, I was anyways, I was fortunate enough to have a father who was pretty financially literate, I would say. He always wanted me to own my own business. He believed in equity being the most powerful thing. In a roundabout way, he kind of preached the message that I believe in now, which is that you'll never get rich renting out your time or working a job or working a salary, or you couldn't, at least until Bitcoin. But he also taught me about compounding, and he wanted me to start saving very early. And he taught me, if you start saving at this age, this is what it's going to turn into. Of course, I've veered 30 times off that path, but I always understood the power of compounding, and I've tried to incorporate that into a lot of things financially in my life. But I think that the most important thing that I've learned this year is thinking about things in blocks. Because when I think about the Bitcoin network itself, the time chain, the cool thing when we look at the mempool, when we look at the block height, it's 913,000. 913,170. So that's how many blocks have been mined since January 3rd, 2009, since the Genesis block of Bitcoin. And the cool thing about it is every block that's mined, the network, the value, everything around Bitcoin actually becomes more powerful. With every block mined, this network shows that it's not going anywhere. And it shows the proof of work that's been done. Every block contains all the transactions since inception. And so every block that's mined, this thing becomes more legitimate. And I feel like if you think about that in your own life, in terms of one block at a time, you know, I was talking about the video that we recorded with Maple Bitcoin boys yesterday with Forrest and Rajat. And that was the first thing I said when we turned on StreamYard yesterday. I said, another day, boys, another block in the chain, another video. And that's how I think about it. Each one of my shows is another block. Each one of these shows is another proof of work for my reputation, my trust from people. It's a block in the chain. Every one that you do, every day you show up, you get stronger, you get more powerful. And it's the same with the gym. It's the same with your diet, as Hodl said there, with your marriage, with your friendships. It's the same kind of thing. Each thing along the way, as insignificant and small as it seems at the time, it is another block in the chain. And the longer you go, the more you legitimize yourself for whatever you're working towards. And I really believe that you can spiral down, or you can spiral upwards, or you can be stable or unstable like me here every day with the internet, just a good representation of myself. But the point is that every time you show up at the gym, that's another block in the chain. Every live stream that I do here is another block in the chain. And that's how you should be thinking about things. Every nice little gesture that you make to your wife or your husband, that's another block in the chain. And as every block gets added, it just becomes more and more powerful. And that's where I tied the compounding effect with Bitcoin, with the time chain, and started incorporating into my own life. And that's how I look at it now. Every day I go down to the basement, I think about it that way. I say, this is another block in the chain. This is another progression, moving forward, making myself more powerful every single day. And so if you start thinking about tasks like that, again, as small or insignificant as they seem, they are all blocks in your chain. So that's kind of what I wanted to share in terms of my most important lesson today. Unfortunately, we waited for the last 5 minutes to talk about it. I wanted to share something from Naval too, talking about compounding relationships and friendships and stuff, but we're not going to have time today, unfortunately, because we got a meeting here. So I'm going to catch up with some comments here, and then we're going to hit the road. Yes, we have time for a couple comments here. All right, so I still don't know who sent in that 8,888 sat zap. We've kind of fallen behind on the, I'm going to make time for it because it is very important here. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to get to some comments here in a sec, but I'm going to add some points to the board here. Some points to the board. Okay, so let me bring this up here. Let's see who's who in the zoo. Okay, so yesterday we had one from Josh. So we got to add one to Josh on the scoreboard here, the subjective scoreboard. We got to add one to Todd. So those boys don't move. Letha. We're going to add 4 points for Letha because she sent in a fatty yesterday and another one today. Nope. What did I do there? That was wrong. 4, 6 it should be. So Letha jumps up in the ranks significantly here. And Sats and Sunsets as well gets another one for the Fiat Zap yesterday. So thank you, Sats and Sunsets, for that one. All right. So we're going to do a challenge of the day tomorrow. We're going to do it for Fat Zap Friday. I haven't decided what it's going to be yet, but there's going to be a challenge tomorrow. Well, we're going to see what it is. And then let me take this down for 1 sec. I got to add some DCAs in here as well. DCA. And Letha was the Zap Queen yesterday. So far, the Zap King today or Queen is unknown. We don't know who it is, but hopefully we find out. I'm going to guess it was Josh, but I don't know for sure. I don't know that for sure. Okay, so what do we have here? We had, I knew I was going to forget this yesterday. I knew it. So we had Scotty, we had Duncan, and we had, there's Letha's fatty. So 2686 was yesterday. 2686. And that was from Duncan. And Scotty Too Hottie. And Gronky Tonk Man yesterday. Gronky, we can't misspell that name. And then today, we had 2. I think it was from Cypher Sats and Duncan. And it was 2717. 2716. Duncan and Cypher. Thank you, fellas. And then we got our Zap King from yesterday was... Oh, I missed a few here. Shit. I missed a couple. Yesterday was Letha. 2222. Roa Ducks. And today so far is the 888. And we don't know who that was from. So that's the, we're updated now. I think I missed one, but I'll figure that out myself here. and we'll share it tomorrow. Okay, so what do we have here? VHF says, Jesus, dude, have you ever even used a ledger? I haven't. And I'm pretty thankful for that. I had a Trezor, though, and it's pretty similar, I think. Twist, he didn't learn any lessons this year. Jay says, a ledger is good for your first few thousand crypto. Terry says, I got my ledger a few years ago right after putting my assets on it. The company announced that their database had been hacked and the scammers and bad actors now had access to customer data. Nice. ISO says, ledger's pretty shady, not going to lie, when talking cold storage Bitcoin. If a wallet is for multiple crypto, red flag for me. Same. Terry says, Grok says that user error phishing can result in losses in the closed source operating system and past data breach may be a concern. AI Search says that Ledger is a robust storage solution. Good stuff. Hey, Fanny's here. Good morning, Fanny. We just finished watching Hodl's video of baby hodler. Or not baby, little hodler. The only people who have lost assets from a ledger did so on their own personal errors. Oh, Bad Gal B, that was you. All right, Bad Gal B. The Zap queen for today so far. Bad Gal B. Will she be beat? We'll see. You have till tomorrow at about this time for anybody watching later. And Paulie sent one in. Good to see you, Paulie. I'm guessing that was to Arnie's wallet. And so did Jen. I missed a couple here. Paulie sent in 888 and Jen sent in 1234. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Paulie. Mucho appreciate. And Lauren squeaks in right at the end here. We're just wrapping things up, Lauren. But I do want to give a big shout out here to everybody who showed up on Nostr. We had a couple celebrities in the house. We had Letha. We had Mav21. We had The Grinder. And we had Matt Odell himself sent his app in. So thanks, everybody. Very much appreciate all the love, all the support. And we didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about the debate today. So good for us. But that is coming at 12 noon today. Keep an eye out for the Maple Bitcoin channel. We did a full 1.5 hour discussion on an unbiased take on the core versus not. So if you got some time today, check that out. And that's it. So we'll be right back here tomorrow for FADZAP Friday, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.